interesting thing at that time was, people were checking the ancestry, and ancestry.com had just come. This was about 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I said, Pierre, I said, have you ever checked your ancestry and all? Obviously you came from France in those days. Mm-hmm. He said, Lionel, he said, there's no point. He says, Quebec was a penal colony. So what am I going to learn? That my great-great-grandfather was some crook, thief, murderer, whatever it is? He said, it doesn't make sense.
He was being honest. Some of them tried to cover that part of the history, but he was being absolutely honest. Some of them don't really want to know their real background, who their great forefathers were, or grandmothers.
Okay. I'll keep quiet now till proceedings start, because anytime. Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Pradeep.
Good evening. Yes, good evening, Dr. D'Souza, Mr. David, Dr. Charles.
Hello, Mr. Pradeep.
Missing you.
Yeah,
missing you with a cup of tea. Missing you with a cup of tea.
Is that a cup of coffee or tea?
Cup of tea.
Okay.
We would say kappa tea.
Kappa tea.
Tea.
Okay. Just a minute.
Welcome, Dr. Tommy White. See you there.
Good morning. Hello to everyone.
Hello, Dr. Tommy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good evening,
Dr. White.
Dr. Charles.
Hello,
how are you?
I'm fine.
Mr. Pradeep.
I just got.
Good morning.
Yeah,
good morning.
I'm fine. Yeah. Good
Dr.
evening.
Dr. Thomas, principal of SFS College, welcome. See you there.
Dr. Thomas.
Yeah, sir, yesterday there was some disturbance. Some people are disturbed. So today some people are there. Please remove them immediately.
What are the names?
No, that I don't know the names. Some people are disturbing yesterday. Some noise and etc. So
Okay.
today, suppose that anybody is making such one, remove them immediately.
Okay, I think that's noted.
Dr. Charles.
Yes, I'm here.
I request just give this or pass on the rights to Dr. D'Souza, because I have some problem with my PC. So even if you can pass on rights to me for blocking or control, I unable to control, because I don't know whether it is available through mobile or not.
We have some,
on PC.
Okay, what we are going to do is I will more or less pass that over at the moment I'm exiting, so that should be okay.
Okay. And that you pass on to Dr. D'Souza.
Okay,
right.
No problem.
Yeah. Because I'm joining from my mobile. My PC had some problem. I called the technician, but it didn't turn out today. Right.
Okay, not a problem. But Dr. D'Souza will be actually presenting. I think I'll pass it on to Mr. David.
That's fine. I think even for me, I might be pulled into something, so it's safer just to. I don't know. So maybe let's do a little chat quickly
or best you pass on to the moderator, madam.
Yes.
Who's handling the show? That she will be best to do it.
That will be the best. Actually, that would be the best.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. D'Souza, send me email for the moderator.
Okay, sure. I will send that to you just now.
quick one, Charles. I've just shared something on the chat. It's key and relevant to what you are doing. It is it's like the acting for SDGs 2030 agenda. So there is a week coming on from 17th to 28th of September that people who are working on SDGs, they can register their actions on the global heat map. So maybe you might want to explore that. Thank you.
Definitely. I like you, Peter, for your entrepreneurship. That is pretty welcome, and definitely we will show presentation. Thank you so much for sharing.
No worry. Thank you.
Good.
So are we starting straight away, or?
Yes, I think we are. Minutes. I think we have like about maybe 7 minutes or so, Dr. D'Souza.
It's 8:30 here, my time. So, let me see, what time is it in India?
It's already 6.
It's 6 o'clock, right?
6. Yeah.
6. Yeah, we should be starting any time now.
So, good. Charles, what I can do?
Yeah. Yes. Please.
Go ahead.
I can just take 1 minute to show you straight away on my. I can share my screen to show you. Just
not
1 minute.
Not now. Right now. Not right now.
Not now.
Okay. Later then.
Yeah.
Peter, if you can drop off your email on the chat as well, because there's a group called SODNET that follows this process out of Nairobi, headed by Professor Edward Oyugi. So I'll forward this to them as well, so that they can also be in touch with you. So if you can share your email, Peter.
Yeah, sure. No worries. That's fine. In fact, even Charles, I will email.
I have it to David. I'll pass it on to you.
Okay, that's fine.
Dr. Charles.
Good.
That's fine. Dr.
Yes,
Charles.
Yes.
There is one person who joined with the V2022 right now.
Okay, V2022.
2022. This guy doesn't know what should be the dressing sense.
Okay,
his entire conference is available with the banyan.
Okay.
And he's even asking the questions. It doesn't look nice when it's an international conference, and it's bad on our part, in India part, that people don't have a decorum, or they don't understand how to attend the conference. So you please block this guy.
Okay,
I sent request day before yesterday also, but he has not responded to my request. So please block it immediately. V2022.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I right, Dr. D'Souza?
Yes, I see him there, so we can, Dr. Charles can block him.
Let me see.
Block his video as well as audio both.
Okay, so Joyce is getting ready there. Let us...
What I will do is that I will just try to see why Madam has not joined yet.
Yes, please.
Yesterday I had an interaction with Madam, and today I tried to connect her, but somehow I am unable to. So
okay,
I will join back. Yeah.
Just follow up, please. Yeah. Thanks, Pradeep.
Okay, that's done.
Okay, good. Thank you. So the slight hold up distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is that we are waiting for the distinguished guest of today to make her presence. And that is Dr. Puneet Bashin, and we expect her to be here anytime. And one of our officials, Mr. Pradeep Chawra, is trying to make contact. So technology issues, possibly. We should have her on board very soon, I would imagine. Dr. Charles?
Yes, I'm here.
Do you see the gentleman in his underwear? Can you block him, please? He's to the right of David.
Mr. Vyas.
Mr. Vyas. Okay, let me
Kumar
see.
Vyas. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for him. I may not be able to see.
It's Dr. Majan Kumar Vyas.
Dr. Manoj. Manoj, M-I-N-O-J.
Manoj, okay. Let me see here.
Yeah, Dr. Charles.
Just a moment.
Yeah, 1 minute, please.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's not there. Page 2. I have two pages already, so where is the other one? Okay. Yes. Okay. That's done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Charles.
Yes, go ahead.
I tried to connect Madam, but I think Madam must have stuck up somewhere. He is very prominent personality in India.
Okay.
I think we must continue with number 2 presentation. And if Madam joins, it's okay, Dr. D'Souza. If she doesn't, then we have to continue.
Correct. So,
yeah, because.
So why don't we start the proceedings, Joyce? Just introduce. Let's let the proceedings start, and speaker number 2 can get ready, who I believe is none other than Dr. Charles.
Dr. Charles. Yeah. I think that will be right. Yeah. Meantime, okay. I will try if Dr. Bashin is available, or I can try to connect him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, go ahead, Joyce. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Wishing everyone present on this platform a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I, Joyce John from St. Francis de Sales College, Nagpur, on behalf of MIT Manipal, US Go Global, University Go Global, Rotary Club of Manipal, and St. Francis de Sales College, Nagpur, welcome you all to the 3rd day of the ongoing International Conference and Symposium on Technology and Law in Cybersecurity, Contemporary Challenges and Solutions. The aim of this conference and symposium is to stimulate and provoke a critical discourse on the evolution of law and cybersecurity from the perspectives and subjective matter expertise of eminent scholars and practitioners from both fields. So here, to begin with today's event, we have with us Dr. Charles Ogutu. He is a postgraduate in business administration and holds a doctoral degree in Homeland Security and Business Continuity Specialization. Sir is an expert in designing, developing, and implementing a robust business continuity plan in line with good practice guidelines and ISO standards. Dr. Charles is the CEO, Global Strategic Business Intelligence for US Go Global and University Go Global. Sir has a vast experience of 20 years as an established financial consultant, a marketing and sales promotion consultant, and a director at OM&I Resiliency LLC. Now, I humbly request Dr. Charles Ogutu to deliver his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Joyce Jones. It's my pleasure to be here, and I want to take the opportunity to thank all attendees, all special guests, all presenters, the prior presenters, and eminent scholars that have already gone before me. This is an opportunity that we all understand there is need to articulate what is important in the cyber technology and law in cybersecurity. So I will be sharing my screen shortly so that I'm able to proceed. Just one moment. Just a moment, please.
Sure, take your time.
Okay, here it is. Some technical difficulties. Just one moment. Number 3. Okay, I'm now sharing. Thank you for your patience. Please confirm you are seeing it. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So good evening and good morning once again. My presentation today is based on the role of Homeland Security and the critical infrastructure. And the focus of my discussion is homeland security, critical infrastructure, public-private partnership, disaster management, intelligence and information sharing. And this is so because we all know that cybersecurity cannot exist alone. It has impacts in various tenets of critical infrastructure of various nations and globally. In the US here, after the 9/11, the government set up a national strategy for homeland security in 2002. And the purpose of the strategy was to mobilize and organize a nation to secure the US homeland from terrorist attacks. And there are 6 critical mission areas that the focus was laid on. And the first was the intelligence and warning, border and transportation security, domestic counterterrorism, protecting critical infrastructure and key assets, and of course, defending against catastrophic threats and emergency preparedness. This was important because what took place then was something that was never expected, and it was a first-hand experience of what can go wrong. The Department of Homeland Security set up a mission, and the missions included the prevention of terrorism and enhancing security, managing our borders here and administering immigration laws, and securing cyberspace and ensuring disaster resiliency. And the purpose was to protect the American people from terrorism threats. Our founding principles under as a higher priority, and to secure the nation's airland and sea borders to prevent illegal activity while facilitating lawful travel and trade. Focus on smart and effective enforcement of U.S. immigration laws while streamlining and facilitating the legal immigration process. And also to work with the industry and state and local, tribal and territorial governments to secure critical infrastructure and information systems, analyze and reduce threats, and distribute warnings. Provide a coordinated, comprehensive federal response in event of terrorist attacks, natural disaster, and other large-scale emergency while working with federal, state, and local private sector partners to ensure swift and effective recovery effort. All these, mission and response and any further occurrence. And to this date, we can say that the missions were well articulated and implemented because since then, nothing of this magnitude has taken place in the US soil. Now, one thing to be noted was the aspect of collaboration that was emphasized. And under the Presidential Policy Directive, a Secretary of Homeland Security was actually created to coordinate the domestic all hazards preparedness efforts of all executive departments and agencies. And this was in consultation with the state, local, tribal, and territorial government, non-government organization, private sector partners, and general public. That was key in that collaboration was to be a top-down sort of approach and involve the good citizenry, including businesses and organizations. And this helped in preventing terrorism as hazards. The Secretary of Homeland Security also was given the responsibility to coordinate with several agencies across federal government, public and private sectors, communities to implement the 911 Commission recommendations. And in support of the department, the responsibility of the comprehensive federal response, FEMA, also supports our U.S. citizens and first responders. To the nation, we work to Recording in progress. About things to do with fake news and all that. Those are some of the areas that control of is still highly not a very easy thing to do. So technology needs to leapfrog a bit and come up with better solutions. Better coordination with other efforts by segment of private sector and close collaboration coordinating through ongoing partnership efforts will support effective planning and preparedness, response and participation. Now, improved emergency management efforts. This is key. This is very important. A country without an effective responders or emergency management system certainly cannot guarantee the safety of its citizenry. And to that, there are many examples, and that is why it is important to learn from what the United States did after 9/11 and how it has lived to preserve that particular space in terms of safety. Improved relationship and creation of resilient communities. This can only be achieved through public-private partnership. No single entity can handle this alone. And that we can demonstrate through various ways. Now, there are difficulties, of course, in implementation of this public-private partnership concept because it needs to operate in a balance act between public and private sectors, and the balance must exist in at least the following: use of common definition base through education, training, and expertise, roles and responsibilities, governance, and enforcement. Many countries lack this sort of framework, but it is something that is achievable if all these tenets are considered. Now, let's reflect back on those past events that have taken place. On August 7, 1998, a United States embassy was bombed in Nairobi, Kenya by terrorists. And over 200 were killed and many injured in simultaneous bomb explosions in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The figure could have been much higher if not for public-private partnership collaboration in the rescue mission. Critical infrastructures such as health system, hospitals were overwhelmed. I, being part of those who participated in the rescue mission for the 7 days, where it was well over 7 days on the site, this was a very horrendous sort of experience. What I recounted and what I saw, when this took place, I was not pretty far from the scene. I was less than a quarter mile when all this happened. And being a chief executive of a non-governmental institution known as Road Safety Network, I activated immediately because when I saw that, I definitely saw a big splash of smoke and it was so horrible. Immediately contacted my central command, and within minutes, inside 5 minutes, the team of responders were actually on the scene. It was so difficult because they were not even able to reach the scene because they were meeting with people already injured and they were all in blood, crying for help. But it was only through the issue of trained personnel, which is very important for any institution. And if for the protection of infrastructure, training is key. That is what I learned through this experience. It was not one of the best experiences one should go through. And I applaud the US for having taken the right steps in terms of the deterrence aspect. The level of such occurrences definitely reduced, but there's still quite a lot of room for improvement. So trained personnel at the rescue scene and command center was a huge contribution. We saved many lives at this scene. And part of the most difficult institution was how to coordinate. But public-private partnership between the government, other institutions, including the Red Cross that we worked with, including the Israel army that actually also came in and joined us within 24 hours, was one of those experiences that in terms of response time, it helped save so many lives. And it was quite a remarkable thing to relive most of the time. So things are not changing quite a bit. We just learned through the intelligence and information sharing on infrastructure protection that at least 169 Afghans and 13 US troops were killed in a blast in Kabul airport. That's according to Yahoo News. And of course, it's common knowledge news now, all in the press. We mourn the loss of lives in this tragic occurrence. Despite excellent intelligence and collaboration, things fell apart. The US and the British intelligence made public possibility of the attack, but yet the attack still took place with loss of lives. My question to you and the audience is, what could have been done better to save the lost lives? And we know that sharing intelligence is one key aspect that helps in protection of our people. But we need to know that there are some essential key points that are necessary for public-private partnership to secure their critical infrastructure. And that is communications, reliability, dependability. These are key collaboration points that are pretty important. In this case, the latest one in Afghanistan, we can see clearly here that there is no dependability there, and there is no reliability between the U.S. and the Afghan, party that is currently controlling the space. And even if they were, the fact that they cannot control part of their own, that shows this lack of reliability and dependability, and hence loss of lives, which should not have actually taken place. And summing up the takeaways on my presentation today, I just want to look at the two things that we've seen. The defeat of ISIS in Syria through collaboration, I think, was one good eminent area that we can look back at. When we had the US, you had the Russians, we had the Syrians on one part, and other countries helping in the defeat of ISIS. I think that was one remarkable way where you can bring in collaboration for a common good, despite our differences in many ways. And 2021 winter storm in Texas, the power grid and the water shortage is certainly not one way of collaboration. The I do it all myself approach that Texas had taken is not a good way of preserving and persevering through any possible major winter storm that we saw. So it's best to articulate into other external power grids such that when you have such winter storms, Texans like myself can enjoy continuity of the services that needed. Business continuity is one part of this major planning, whether it is a corporate institution or it is a state. Now, global deterrent legal framework work is needed for cybersecurity and critical infrastructure. There must be some willingness on the part of the actors in terms of coming together, just as countries came together to deter a similar item from happening. Of course, we know ISIS was another issue, and it spread far and wide, including Europe. But finally, it was brought under control. How? Through collaboration. And with that, I end up by summing up that business continuity planning is key to cybersecurity and other infrastructure protection. Whether you are preventing or whether you are doing damage control, continuity planning is about being prepared in each and every situation. And cybersecurity is not any that can avoid that. So well-established cybersecurity protection mechanisms is the best way to go, and the fallback situations by approaching business continuity through comprehensive and collaborative approach. The good plans covering different aspects of the organization, and also a good foundation as a basis to involve and to embed a complete organization's involvement. And this is my presentation. And with that, I end up the presentation. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to present.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Dr. Charles. I would normally not say things after a presentation, but here I would definitely say, have a few points to, first of all, acknowledge your expertise in Homeland Security. And a few other comments that I would, if I may, was that Dr. Charles was really truly involved in the rescue process that took place in the 1998 embassy blast, which also simultaneously happened in Tanzania, and over 200 people died in Kenya, I believe, and in these two cities. So Dr. Charles received commendations from the United States as well, the government. So we are distinctly honored, privileged to have Dr. Charles as one of our key members. And could you please mute whoever's speaking there, please mute your microphones. So the other thing that, the other thing that I would say is the 1998 bombing actually that first led to the clue as to who these actors and players were. It was the emergence of Ayman al-Zawahiri and bin Laden that surfaced in the Kenyan embassy bomb. That's when the world first took notice that these were some players. Then, so that was one thing. So the next point that I would want to make is Dr. Charles emphasized about reliable and dependable partnership. I also think there's a mistake here somewhere that going by the track record and history of what happened there, they should not have easily trusted the current actors, the current partners, and that is a mistake. That's a failing. So you can have the best cybersecurity, you can have the best protocols in place, but there should be an element of prudence, informed decision making, and common sense. And that seemed to be lacking. We'll touch upon other aspects of cybersecurity and as we proceed, but the other major point that I would make is, apart from Dr. Charles's distinguished service in that role that he played, just for the audience, Dr. Charles has there's a wonderful photograph of Dr. Charles with Pele, the immortal great soccer icon, the world's best ever. So there's a beautiful photograph with him playing with his Kenyan team, receiving that trophy or cup from Pele, which means Dr. Charles must have been an exponent with Pele, but I'm sure he would rank very high in the upper echelons of football at that time. And the last point was when 9/11 happened, and we always try and associate ourselves as to where were you when that happened. I was in New Jersey working as a consultant for a pharmaceutical company called Bristol Myers Squibb on that morning when it happened, 9/11. And we could see it all unfolding on the big screen, and we were all then sent home. But since then, much water has flown under the bridge, and cyber security has advanced, evolved. But if you still look at some of the missing elements is information sharing, common sense, and sometimes that is lacking. A case being in point is the Afghanistan issue. So on that note, once again, Dr. Charles, we are proud and honored to have you as part of University Go Global, US Go Global, and participants in India and Manipal Institute of Technology, SFS, will see a lot of us together doing a lot of projects on the global front in education, because our goal is to advance the frontiers of knowledge, make education of serving populations worldwide, and we are already quite successful at that. So thank you very much, Dr. Charles Ogotu, and I'd like to turn it over to Joycey now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your outstanding deliberation on the topic, the role of Homeland Security and Critical Infrastructure. Your presentation was amazing and impressive to witness. Your discourse will definitely have a significant impact on all the participants. So thank you once again, sir. Proceeding further with, yes, sir. Proceeding further with today's event, I would like to welcome Mr. Majid Gomeni, Professor at the University of the People, Turkey. having a teaching experience of 18 years in several universities and in different countries. He has a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, master's degree in software engineering, and is currently pursuing his PhD. Mr. Gomeni has published 5 books in the programming field and many papers in national journals on artificial intelligence and its application. He has been a professional in the IT industry for the past 20 years and has worked under the capacity of programmer, system analyst, project manager, and most recently as a researcher in the R&D department at Middle East Technical University. Now, I would like to turn it over to Mr. Majid Gomeni to proceed with his presentation on Top 10 Cybersecurity Risks and Challenges. Over to you, sir.
Just one small announcement before Majid comes on. I just want to announce to the audience that our distinguished guest for today, Dr. Advocate Puneet Bhasin, received her COVID-19 vaccine yesterday and has kind of developed a reaction or some discomfort. So she's unable to join us today. So you can see what happened with COVID-19 almost 2 years ago still lingers on in some shape or form. So Dr. Advocate Puneet will not be joining us today, and we will proceed per the schedule thereafter. So over to you, Majid. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Joycey, Dr. Lionel and Dr. David, and University Globe for giving this opportunity to me. First of all, let me share my screen for you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us go on with the actually, I thought I can make a combination of different aspects regarding the cybersecurity. As you know, I am a specialist in the computer science and I have no expertise in the law. That's why I thought I can make a combination of different methods, different threats, and type of cybersecurity, and make a combination of top 10 cybersecurity risks to have a brief evolution. So let us start by a small introduction. First of all, what exactly is the cybersecurity? As you know, cybersecurity is the operation of the protecting systems, network, program, and data against digital attacks. Cyber attacks are usually aimed to accessing, changing, or destroying sensitive information, extorting money, or interrupting normal business process. On the other hand, cybersecurity is becoming a severe issue for individuals, enterprises, and governments. Details to the credit card information to ensure that our data remains safe. There is no security in the internet. How I can keep my information?
Hello, Majid.
Hello.
Can you come closer to the microphone? We can't hear you. Can you just repeat?
Okay. Okay. So I can
come closer to the microphone, please. Yeah. So start your presentation again. Now I can hear you. Yeah. Please. You can restart your presentation. We couldn't hear.
Okay. Okay. So let me go back to the previous pages. So I just gave a brief introduction about what exactly is the cybersecurity. So as you know, the cybersecurity became a severe issue for individual enterprises and government alike. In a world where everything ensure that our data remains safe is one of the biggest challenges of cybersecurity. That's why if there is no security for my information in internet, how I can do, for example, commercial activities and etc. Here I have a brief introduction about the type of cybersecurity. Depends on the different aspects in the activities possible in the internet. We can categorize them in different categories. First of all is application security, that is the different type of security we have to use for our application programs. Another issue is Internet of Things, IoT security. I will explain it in detail in my coming slides. The next one is for network security. For example, if we have a network in our organization or university or company, how we can make the security for it. Cloud security, again, is another important issue. You know, most of us have important information in the cloud. So also it needs a security issue. And the final critical infrastructure security that engage with the commercial organization, banking systems, and even the military organization, and etc.
Can you change your slides?
Yeah, of course.
Can you put it on slide show and move from slide to slide, Majid, please?
So you cannot see my slide now?
We are only seeing the cover slide. If you
okay, so
put it on slideshow, yes.
So let me make it.
You can put it on slideshow and then just hit your cursor.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now it's going up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now you can see the next slide. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. You are welcome. Now here I'm going to list the different threats regarding the cybersecurity. The first important is malwares, and the second is emoted, denial of the service, man in the middle, phishing, SQL injections, as abbreviation SQLI, and password attack. Malwares are malicious software such as spyware, ransomware, viruses, and worms. Emoted also are Trojans. These are primitives separated through the spam emails, mal spams, and the infection may arrive either via the malicious scripts, macro embedded document files, and etc. Man in the middle also is another type of threat that we can consider. For example, if I'm talking via telephone to a bank clerk, maybe someone is hearing and is between us and hearing our information. Similarly, it will happen in the internet when you are accessing to your bank and make your transaction and sending money and receiving, so they can change the account number and different information, so your money will transfer to another point, not your decided goal. Phishing, again, is another issue. I will explain it in detail in my coming slides. And SQL injection is also another important issue. In this manner, the attackers use SQL code and hiddenly they inject it inside your application and can access to your database and can store the data in your database. Now, let us go step by step in the top 10 cybersecurity risk. The first one I selected is ransomware attack. In this type of attack, actually the hackers make a bans your access to your important information or block your operation for your system. For example, if a business company have an operation for the customers, they can make it block and they request you for paying money that they will be open your access to your operation or to your data. However, it's not guarantee if you pay money they will do it, and again maybe they need more money for this process. So the suggestion is don't obey they and find another solution. Number two is the IoT attacks, Internet of Things. You know, Internet of Things are devices, computing, electrical, and mechanical devices that can automatically transmit the data over network or internet. And in the same manner, with receiving the data from the internet, they can do the mechanical or electronic commands. For example, you can control your auto park door, your automobile, and your instrument in your home. So if the hacker can access that control easily, they can open the gate for the more and other type of attacks, and even they can steal your automobile and etc. So again, this is another big risk in the cybersecurity. Number three is cloud attack. As you know, most of us have using the services of the cloud, and we can keep our personal and sensitive information in the clouds. Again, there is no guarantee that the clouds are imminent and are safe against the attack of the hacker. So if someone can do this, again, our information are in the danger situation. The next one is phishing attack. Also, I listed in my previous slides. In the phishing attack, the hackers try to access your login credentials, I mean username and password, and your credit card information. They will not block your system, but they will use it for their own advantages, and they can, for example, use your credit card for online shopping, and they can make illegal money transfer from your credit card. So this type of hackers that can block your credit card upon the user understands it. And the most problem here is to sequentially change your password for your credit card or even other login, for example, for banking system and etc. Number five is the blockchain and cryptocurrency attack. Though most of the internet average users are not engaged with this, but most business and commercial organizations that they're trying to transfer money via the cryptocurrencies and using the blockchain for these operations, they are in danger of the hacking via the cybersecurity risk, because another type of hacking is the using of the blockchain and cryptocurrency for stealing your money and controlling your business operations. Number six is software vulnerabilities. That is means the old version of software. As you know, sequentially the software, the application program, Windows and other platforms we are using are in the update for new version. Some of the individuals and also the companies doesn't feel proper to make update of these new softwares. And the old version of software unfortunately contains patch for the security, and they cannot be safe against the hackers and different kind of the cybersecurity risk. So my suggestion is sequentially update your software to the new versions, because the developer knows the gap of the software and application program, and they try to recover these problems in the new versions. Number seven is AI and ML attacks. Actually, we know that the artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies are very beneficial for most of important artificial intelligence and machine learning, as you know, is very high. So again, if another method for the attacking to your information with using the ML and AI techniques. That means the hackers abuse these techniques to access the information. So a sophisticated attack might prove to be too difficult to handle due to such powerful technology. I mean, if they are using a AI and ML technique, the methodologies and the techniques against this will not be very easy to control it. The next one, number 8, this is the BYOD, the BYOD is a policy that is bring your own device in some organization or company. In some organization or companies, the people, the employees can take and bring their own devices to use in the company, connect to the network, local network LAN, and use the data inside the server. So this is again another big challenge because maybe the computer, the devices are not using the last version of the software, they are using the old version, and also they have not enough security software like firewall and etc. And if they connect to your network, this is a good platform, this is a good media for hackers to easily access the data in the company and they can attack it. So the suggestion is the organization should ban the policy of BYOD and provide the secure devices to the employees. So everybody easily cannot take his own devices to work in the companies. Number 9, again, this is another type of cybersecurity risk, and this is the insider attack. You know, most of us are challenging to find the problem outside the company, but sometimes maybe inside we have an attack that is the employees with malicious intent can leak or export the confidential data to the competitors' companies or individuals. That is, one employee that have easily access to our data can copy and share this data to other companies, and no need to have any application or any software or any method of hacking. Just a simple person in the company can do this. So for this, again, there are many methods to ban it. For example, we can use the firewall. We can have a server with the limit access to the files, depends on the job roles. And even in some companies, any computer cannot have a port to connect to USB or any other devices. Or even when you are using, for example, your own email, you cannot attach any file to send to other company or other persons. This is another, again, security for controlling this type of the attack. The number 10 and the last one is outdated hardware. You know, as I told you, the software sequentially need to be updated, but unfortunately, the old hardware are not compatible with the new version of this application. For example, if the your operating system Windows is going to be upgraded, the first you have to be should be able to be compatible with the existing hardware. If your hardware cannot support that features, you cannot install it. That's why you have to use your old software and use the older version applications. And this again open the gate for the hackers to easily access your data and make a problem for you. As a conclusion, here we briefly explain the 10 important issues about the risk and challenges against the cybersecurity, against the data and your sensitive information. And with using this technique and using the preventing of this problem, you can take your information more safe and correct action in your operation for business companies. And the last page is my references. And thank you so much for listening to me. Let me stop the screen.
Well,
thank you so much, and I'm ready for answer to questions, if any.
if there are any questions, please go ahead. We'll keep those questions limited to just one or two. And if not, feel free to place your questions in the chat, and we will respond to them as well there.
I also shared my email address in the first page of my slide, so if someone needs more information, can email to me as well.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for that generous gesture, Dr. Majid and Mr. Majid. And Majid is from Turkey. Now, many people think Turkey is in the Middle East, but Turkey is actually a part of Europe. Largest cities are Ankara and so on. So a very illuminating presentation on the different aspects, the challenges, and the top 10. So on that note, thank you once again, and over to you, Joycey.
Thank you so much.
So thank you, Mr. Majid, for your presentation. It was truly a remarkable one. I would like to appreciate the effort you took to deliberate on security risks and share your suggestions and expertise with all of us. Thank you, sir. Moving ahead to the next session, we have with us Mrs. Pragati Dubey, lecturer at St. Francis de Sales College, Nagpur. Ma'am has done her master's in computer application, MTech in computer science engineering, and currently pursuing MSc in computer science. She has more than 8 years of teaching experience and industrial experience of about 3 years. Ma'am has efficiently organized various national level conferences, FDP programs, and webinars. Her areas of interest include text mining and digital image processing. Now, I would like to invite Pragati ma'am to present on the topic cybersecurity, awareness, vulnerabilities, and solutions. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I'm Pragati Dubey, and I'm presenting topic on cybersecurity, awareness, vulnerabilities, and solution. I'm sharing my PPT with you. My screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
So these are the few topics which are going to cover. Firstly, introduction of cybersecurity. What is cybersecurity? We heard term cybersecurity, cybercrime many of time, but crime what is specifically related to internet, and its main objective is to establish rules and different countermeasures to use against attack over the internet. Then next is to understand, after understanding cybersecurity, there are different facets or different, like why we are using cybersecurity countermeasures. There are many things which I am going to cover. Then leading threats. What are the different threats like Trojan worms are there? Like there are many more things. Then how to implement and maintain security of a cyber field around us. So introduction. In introduction, what is the cybersecurity? The term cybersecurity is used to refer to security offered through online services, because as we know that cybersecurity only happened on internet, through internet. protect our online information. Basically, it's all we are like doing this for protecting or avoiding to steal our information or data. With an increasing amount of people, harms are increasing also. Now, as we all know, the recent rapid development of the Internet of Things, which we mainly referred as IoT, and its ability to offer different types of services have made it the faster growing technology. Like in this is the pandemic period, everything we are doing is on online, right from social life to our business environment. Now, IoT has gradually permeated all aspects of modern human life, such as education, healthcare, and business, involving the storage of sensitive information about individuals, like companies, financial data, transaction, product development, and marketing. Like as we are using, internet. Similarly, there are various threats. Like the number of threats is rising daily, and attacks have been on the increase in both number and complexity. Because suppose we are taking some countermeasure, but hackers are more smarter, one step ahead. They find out some another alternative solution. So not only is the number of potential attackers along with the size of networks growing, but the tools available to potential attackers are also become more sophisticated, efficient, and effective. Therefore, for internet to achieve fullest potential, it needs to protect against threats and vulnerabilities. Now, what other points we need to understand whenever we are talking about cybersecurity? What is the word cyber? Like we are saying cyber crime is going on. So cyber is nothing but a crime committed. What is cyber crime? Basically, cyber crime committed using a computer and the internet to steal data or information. Like suppose illegal imports are there, malicious program. There are so many malicious program whenever we surf net or whenever we visit certain websites. So by default, some program get downloaded and it asks for install. If we might know about that, then we install sometime. So that are the malicious program. And if we categorize the cyber crime, then we can categorize in two ways, like computer as a target or the computer as a weapon. We can target someone computer, like hackers, not we. The hackers target someone computers, or he or she can use computer as a weapon to attack. Then next is, what is the need of cyber security? Why there's a need of cyber security? Because we are doing many things in like COVID pandemic periods, like online classes, bank transaction, business, whatever things we avoid traveling. So we are making the thing online using internet. Now, what are the security problems in cyber field? There are different problems, like different threats are there. I'm going to discuss about that. And how to implement and maintain security of a cyber field around us. What are the countermeasures we should take? So first of all, what is the meaning of the word cyber? It's a combining form relating to information technology, the internet, and virtual reality. This point I already covered that as our data is growing day by day, we are using internet and many more things. Then need of cyber security. Why there is a need of cyber security? Like suppose we must protect our computers and data. Like suppose if we are moving from our home, so we locked our home from threats. Similarly, whenever we are dealing some, like we are doing some transaction or we are sending some data over network, so we must follow certain rules. Like we must protect our computers and data in the same way that we secured the doors to our home. We must behave in same way that protect us against risk and threat that come with technology. Then this is the one scenario. So what is the scenario is, this is the cracker. This is the person who have some program or some script with it. he or she posts a script on someone administrator or any XYZ system, then whatever thing come to administrator system, he or she downloaded that. As I told you that we download, sometimes we download the things because we are unaware of that. Then once it get downloaded, it reports to hacker. Then like suppose in many time it happens that in bank or like we get certain calls like please send your OTP, or you have some problem in transaction, will clear it out, whatever thing. So this is the one scenario we should aware of this. Then different threats. What are the different threats are? First is virus, worms, Trojan horse, logic bombs, social engineering. Now what are these threats? So viruses. What are viruses? Basically, virus is nothing but a program who unprogrammed a proper execute. Like suppose a program is properly going on, so it affects that. Like here, as this figure shows, this is program A along with some extra code is added. So what is this? This is nothing but a malicious code which added to program A and it become a malicious code. Then if suppose this particular code is transferred to another system, so it become a virus. So a virus, what is virus? A virus attach itself to a program file or disk. It can be attached to file, it can be attached to a disk. When the program is executed, the virus activate and replicate itself. Many times, every virus varies its own way. Like suppose if we are talking about coronavirus, then every environment is adapting a different environment and it acts in a different way. Like suppose there are many variants. So similarly, viruses has different variants. Now, some viruses replicate itself, some viruses corrupted the important files, some viruses corrupt exe file or system file. The viruses may be malignant but executes its payload at some point. In order to recover all this virus attack, what we have to do is avoid potential unreliable website emails. Suppose if we are visiting some websites, then please check whether the website is secured or not. Now, how will check the website is secured or not? So whenever we are typing something like HTTPA, so see whether this is HTTP or HTTPS. S is responsible for security. Check whether the one log symbol is at bottom right hand side. So it denotes secured website. So before visiting all this website, we must check all these points. System restore. Now, what is the system restore? Whenever, like in suppose we are installing operating system in our computer, so we make certain restore point. Why we are making this restore point? Because whenever system get corrupted or if system has some problem, then we restore the thing as it working before. Then reinstall operating system. If we are facing some problem while operating system, so it's better to reinstall it. Use and maintain antivirus software. Many people don't use antivirus, so this is the reason virus attacks on their computer. Then worms. Now what are the worms? Worms are independent programs that replicate itself and send copies from computer to computer across network connection. Now, what is the difference between virus and worm? Is virus is working on a computer, whereas worm can be attached to mail also and it can send over network. Then upon arrival, the worms may be activate and replicate itself. As I told you that every virus has different variants. Similarly, it has also different variant. Like this is the particular source. One worm get come, then it make replication and thrice. Like 3 different person has get same worms. So what are the different countermeasures we can do? Like we can install antivirus. We must activate the firewall. Then logic bombs and Trojan horses. Now what are the logic bombs and Trojan horses? Basically, logic bomb is malware logic executes upon certain condition. The program is often used for otherwise legitimate reason. Now, software which malfunction if maintained fees not paid. Like suppose certain software is available for limited period of time. If suppose we want to if we want to continue with that software and we are not paying for that software, if it's paid software, then some software developers or whatever, they attach some malware logic with it. Then employee trigger a database erase when he is fired. If some employee get fired, then he or she may misbehave and do like certain thing that they deleted certain fields from the database. It may happen many times. So these are the logic bombs. Now, what are the Trojan horses? Now, Musket does as a program while quietly destroying data or damaging your system. Like I told you, sometime system files get corrupted, sometimes some useful file get corrupted, sometimes shortcuts created. So this all the examples of Trojan horses. Now, what are social engineering? Social engineering is it's a important thing which we aware about. Now, what is social engineering? It's manipulate people into performing action or divulging confidential information similar to a confident trick or simple fraud. The term applies to the use of deception to gain information, commit frauds, or access computer system. Now, these are the some scenario, like suppose someone get calls and ask for password. Like I told you, someone asked for our OTP, someone asked for our maiden name. So these are nothing but the example of social engineering. Whenever we are talking about threats, so there are two types of threat. It can be a human, it can be a nature. No, what is threat? A threat is an action that takes advantage of security weakness in a system and has a negative impact on it. Like as I told you, there are two types of threats: human and nature. Like nature is suppose like flood. Sometimes flood get comes, earthquakes, fire could cause severe damage to computer system. And few safeguards can be implemented against natural disaster. And nobody can prevent this from happening. We cannot. It's not in our hand. It can happen. So we should take certain countermeasures to avoid like minimum amount of loss should happen. Now, what are the human threats? So, human threats are those caused by people, such as malicious threats consisting of internal or external threats. Now, human threats can be of two types. One is unstructured and structured. Now, what is the difference between unstructured and structured? Unstructured threat is something like mostly inexperienced individual who use easily available hacking tool. There are many hacking tool available in market on internet. Some people use just for like entertainment purpose, and for their entertainment purpose someone get lost. And now, what is the structured threat? Threat is a people know system vulnerabilities and can understand, develop, exploit code scripts. They have information or knowledge about everything, but deliberately they are doing the things. Then, what are the now identified security compromises? What are these? So, there are certain symptoms. Suppose we are affected with virus, then we get certain symptoms like we feel weakness, sometimes fever is there. So similarly, our system also tell many things to us that the system get affected from virus or it needs certain solution. So what are these symptoms? So first is antivirus software detect a problem. If suppose like a very basic example I'm taking, like suppose if our pen drive get affected from virus, if we are scanning that particular pen drive, then many corrupted file or whatever the viruses are there detected. Then disk space disappear unexpectedly. Suppose if your disk size is like 120 GB and it is showing 20 GB, 30 GB, so it may one of the reason that our system get affected. Pop up suddenly. We many times we see that some message are get pop up and we cancel that. Then again they are frequently pop up. Then again this is a sign of viruses. File or transaction appear that should not be there. Some files we are sharing, transaction we are doing, this is like, suppose if we are transferring some money to A to B account, then particular A user transfer money or amount to user B, but user B not get that particular money or whatever the thing, then again this is the cybersecurity. This is now the mouse pointer move by itself. The mouse pointer, sometimes we don't have control over mouse, so this all are the, it happens that system automatically shut down many a time. Then how to implement and maintain security over cyber field around us. So first of all, antivirus and anti-spyware software. Antivirus software detects certain types of malware and can destroy it before any damage is done. Like suppose we scan our pen drive or we scan our system, then whatever the patches are there, they get overcome. Install and maintain antivirus and anti-spyware software. Be sure to keep antivirus software updated. There are different antivirus available in market like Norton, McAfee, AVG antivirus, Kaspersky, etc. Then host-based firewall. Now, what is a host-based firewall? A firewall acts as a barrier between our computer network and the internet. Many times it happens that many people turn off their firewall setting. Why? Because if suppose they are installing some software from different sources, then they cannot allow, and every time they have to allow it from unknown source for installing. So many people have habit, they are disabled the firewall. So please don't do that. Then hackers may use the internet to find, use and install application on our computer. A firewall prevents many hackers' connection to our computer. Now, protect your operating system. Now, how we protect our operating system? So, Microsoft regularly issues patches. Not only Microsoft, but there are different operating systems who regularly issues patches or updates to solve security-related problem in their software. If they are not applied, it leaves our computer vulnerable to hackers. Next is use a strong password. Whenever we create certain password, then we should maintain a password like combination of alphabets, numerical, numbers, special symbols are there, because make password easy to remember but hard to guess. Our password should be easy to remember, but certain people or hackers, it's difficult for them to figure out what is our password. So for that, there are many rules how to password should be there. Like suppose alpha first symbol should be alphabetic or whatever are there. Then avoid social engineering and malicious software. Now, what is this social engineering? Social engineering, also known as human hacking, is the art of tricking employee and consumers into disclosing their credentials and then using them to gain access to network or account. Now, how to avoid this social engineering? So do not open email attached unless you are expecting the email with the attachment and you trust the sender. Like trusted party, only we can open our email or whatever attachment we get in our email is from trusted person. Do not click on links in email unless you are absolutely sure of their validity. Only visit or download software from the web page you are trusted. Not like suppose if we are searching for certain software, then there are many links available on search engine. So what we do is, it's our practice, we open many links, new tab, and we start downloading the software. So don't do that. Then secure business transaction. Now, how to secure our business? Always use secure browser to do online activities. Like suppose if we are making certain transaction, then one software is there like authentication or secured environment, making secured environment. So what is this? This cannot be disclosed to anyone. Like in WhatsApp also, in WhatsApp there is a setting, like suppose if we are sending message to one person to another person, if third person is eavesdrop or see that message, that it can be in encrypted format. So this all are the secure business transactions. Frequently delete temporary files, cookies, history, save password, etc. If we are accessing someone's computer for making transaction, so there are settings like suppose password is automatically get saved. So before leaving that computer, it's a responsibility to remove or delete the password which is saved. Now, last but not least is backup important information. It's a good practice if no security measures is 100%, because no security measures is 100% reliable. I end my presentation over here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pragati Dubey. Very educational presentation. We've learned a lot on the pros and cons. The drawbacks, the pitfalls, and some of the prudent things that one must do while being online. We are prone and susceptible to all kinds of threats, hacking, people dropping in or eavesdropping, and so on. Pragati is from the eminent institution in Central India, St. Francis de Sales College, and I will take this opportunity to also acknowledge all the SFS college anchors. Today we have Joycey, and yesterday we had Baljit Mudliar, and the first day we had Sonika Hilson, I'm sorry. So I'd really take this opportunity to thank you for your tremendous presence, the smooth functioning, the way you have organized, coordinated. It's been flawless. It's been very well done. So that's a testament to SFS College. So thank you once again, and over to you, Joycey.
Thank you, sir. So thank you, Pragati ma'am, for such a wonderful presentation and commendable disquisition. It was indeed enriching in many ways. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Welcome. Making a move to our next session, we have with us Dr. Folly Somado Hamazro and Dr. Lionel D'Souza. Dr. Folly is a postgraduate in law, holds a doctorate in business administration, and is pursuing an LLM in international legal studies. Sir engages graduate and doctoral level classes at the School of Business at Liberty University in USA. Dr. Folly is a fellow at the International Institute of African Scholars. He is fluent in several international languages, which include French, Italian, and English. He is the executive director and founder of FOSH Global Consulting, an organization that is specialized in offering international business and academic services. He is accompanied by Dr. Lionel D'Souza, the executive director of University Go Global, an organization that creates worlds of opportunities for students and universities. Sir is a well-published and award-winning professor, philanthropist, and international educator, healthcare, and pharmaceutical marketing professional. He is engaged in global higher education development, and his current projects are in the USA, India, Middle East, and Africa. As a professor, he graduates many doctoral graduates and is the recipient of several awards and nominations for excellence in doctoral and master's advisement in the disciplines of management, business, healthcare, and marketing in leading US institutions. I now invite Dr. Foley and Dr. Lionel to present on the topic, a transcontinental comparative evaluation of law and cyber security, Africa, USA, and India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Joycey. And while I try and pull up my screen, let me go there and get it going. So let me see. And it's not showing yet, right?
No, sir.
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay. Okay, let me try again. Maybe, how about now? Do you see it?
Not yet, sir.
Maybe Dr. Foley, you can try as well.
Let me try here.
And then put it on slide mode, on slideshow. So please bear with us while Dr. Foley is trying to do that. Let me mention that and I also live in the US, kind of Midwest, but more towards the east. Dr. Foley is, any luck, Dr. Foley?
I'm still trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dr. Foley is from, there are many countries in Africa. Togo, he's from Togo, and recently he visited Togo, and he told me that cashew nuts are grown in abundance in Togo, and there are many Indian importers visiting Togo just to buy those cashew nuts because it's in abundance there. Yes, please mute your microphones. Yeah, we're having some. Okay. Let me try again.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. And put it on slideshow.
Yeah.
And down further down, slideshow. There. Go to the cover slide, the first slide, if you can.
Yeah.
And then can you put it on slideshow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs down to the right. On the top band, on the top ribbon.
Okay.
More further down, there, up there now, up there. You see slideshow.